Good morning. It's Monday, October the 19th, and this is Wisdom for Your Week. Someone has said that we live in the age of the perpetually offended, and that's probably true. Everywhere you look, you can find someone who is offended, who has suffered some irreversible emotional damage at the hands of another person. The millennial generation is accused of being emotional snowflakes, but any of us can find something to be offended by most days. That's because we live in a fallen world, surrounded by fallen people with sinful hearts that commonly inflicts pain on others. Sometimes we find ourselves on the receiving end of that pain, maybe from our family or a friend or coworker, or maybe just the guy behind the counter at McDonald's. The fact is, you'll probably get hurt today. You'll suffer some offense. The real question is, how will you respond to that? Solomon says that our response to being hurt will reveal whether we are wise or foolish. Our verse for today, Proverbs 19, verse 11, says, "A man's wisdom gives him patience. It is to his glory to overlook an offense." Solomon recognized the reality of being offended, but he advises us to overlook it when it happens. That takes patience, he says. Takes the patience of a wise man, so that means it's difficult. Most of the world doesn't have that kind of patience. Most people respond to an offense with an angry outburst, with a promise to get even. The wise man doesn't do that. He overlooks it. He lets it go. He dismisses it. We all know how difficult that is because we are hardwired to get even and to react in anger when we're hurt. So how do we have this kind of patience? Well, for one thing, you can think about that person who has hurt you. There's probably a reason that they did that. There's some underlying issue in their life, some hurt. Someone has said that hurting people hurt people. So that person who hurts you probably has bigger issues, and so you should try to be understanding and patient and let it go. You should also consider how patient God is with you. How many times do we hurt God by our sin and rebellion, and yet He reacts with patience? He disciplines us, but He doesn't fly off the handle in anger. And then you should consider yourself. How often do you hurt others? Probably even more deeply than they've hurt you. Do you want to be treated with patience and have that person you've hurt overlook what you've done to them? Of course you do. So be careful that you don't react without thinking. That's not wise. Better to overlook it than to overblow it. And that's wisdom for your week.